Auteur, what is it?
Who made this?
When you think about filmmaking, do you ever wonder how it was made? Is this based on an adaptation? How was the screenplay made? Who are the actors? Or what about who made the film?
What is an auteur? Auteur theory focuses on the director. The theory is about how a director puts their own mark on the film, how a director makes their film more personal. Auteur theory debates how a good director can make a good film out of a bad script. Auteurs should have consistent themes in their work. These themes should reflect their personality and life experiences.
The auteur theory. The definition of an auteur. Auteur is a French word that means a film director who influences their film so much they rank as an author. This means that the outcome of the film is only on the director's choice, along the way in the pre-production and production of the film.
Auteur. Being an auteur means that you are the only author of the film. Like an author comes up with the location and characters on their own when writing a book. The auteur chooses every little detail about their film. The author is in charge of every part of the film, in the planning phases and production of the edit. Why is it good to be an auteur?
Recognizable. When there is an auteur, you can usually tell what their products are based on, their style, colouring and other scenes used in all of the films, styles, stories, subjects and distinct voices through the film, running actors or themes throughout the films. Patterns in their work are necessary to show how the film was directed by an auteur.
The auteur is the person with the vision and who runs the film set like an artist with a certain theme. Each film has something that runs personally or visually to the film, like colour grading or lighting and music, but also runs through the range of different films by the same producer.
Policy not rule. The film isn't better or worse because of its auteur. It's just good to know who the voice behind the film is, the person that made the film, the way it is. It's good to understand, but not overpower over the themes of the film.
The three auteurs we will be looking at are Wes Anderson, who does Grand Budapest Hotel, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and The Royal Tenenbaums. Edgar Wright, who does Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver, and Sofia Coppola, Marie Antoinette, The Virgin Suicide, and The Beguiled.
Problems with auteur theory are that it creates a narrow-minded idea of what a true artist/voice behind the film is. The idea of the auteur shouldn't stop, but it should be expanded to many of the other fields within a given film equally. The argument that one person can't be the only person to choose the outcome of the film.
From one big 3 million film, there is normally 5 to 10 minutes of credits. But how can an auteur be the one person who chooses how the film ends up? There are lots of different departments within the filming process. Prop design, set design, and the actor's personal take on the script, with everything playing into how by themselves without any input that changes the film.
Sofia Coppola. Brought up in upper class, she focuses on defending the upper classes, making them look better and sympathizing with them. They are people who are unattached with the world. She focuses on loneliness and real-world experiences.
What does she, as a running theme between her movies, have? Loneliness, female interior coming of age, unapproachable females in their social cages, like royalty, a running theme of actor playing in her film, aka an actor that is in all or most of her films.
Cinematography. Camera techniques to show what the actor is dealing with inside. Handheld and flowing motion shows lively and teenage childhood self and freedom, which is usually in her films. She uses these camera techniques to make her films more relatable.
Also in The Virgin Suicides, Coppola centers the girls in the middle and tracks them as they move. Slow tracking to the side shows the perspective of the boys watching them in their scheduled world. No. Slow tracking to the side shows the perspective of the boys watching them in their secluded world. The camera shots show the perspective of the stalker watching the main character moving. Unlike the uneven, shaky, handheld shots of Marie Antoinette.
The virgin suicide. The rule of thirds of the girl looking through a window shows the safety of their situation looking out on the world.
No. Placement by the windows. Feeling depression because of the current culture problems, like the conservative and conforming nature, has contributed to the growing depression in society. Being at the far side of the shot, away from reality, looking out of the window on the far side of what people were experiencing in lower and middle class life.
Her experience of being scrutinized in the limelight allows her to show sympathy to elite characters and have heavily contributed to the innocence of youth.
Mise-en-scene. The movement of the characters and more energetic camera techniques show teenagers in their youth. The privilege of the people in wealthy families, but also shows the restrictive nature of what it is like in their experiences, like shots of isolation, rules that need to be followed.
Sophia doesn't tell the audience that there is privilege or restrictions. With that, she shows it by different colours and placements in each scene. The juxtaposing lighting of what it is like in the bigger houses versus the working class houses shows that it's different and something isn't quite right.
The links between the movies are the uses of the rule of thirds and tracking shots to show perspective from the outsider looking in, handheld shots to make the audience feel sympathy and to get a feel like they're part of the movie. Female actors and playing privileged upper-class girls/women coming of age, and how trapped in their privileged lifestyle.
The use of fancy costumes and dresses from rich upper-class people. Colour
Young women going through changes in their lives, like becoming women. It also shows upper-class girls and their struggles with being detached from reality. There is normally an outside view on the girls, the boys watching them from a distance from the virgin suicide. Other modern auteurs that we are going to talk about are Wes Anderson and Edgar Wright.
His stories on young adults. His characters are flawed misfits and walking contradictions. His characters have selfish desires. His set design acts as a representation of characters or the story.
Auteur or author. Wes Anderson creates a setting like a storybook. The location in his films are also characters. His set creates rich history and set the mood and tone. His sets also have flaws to make them feel more like characters, just like people.
Wes Anderson also builds his worlds around colour. He exaggerates certain colours and uses bold colours. He uses symmetry in his cinematography, and he uses a lot of camera movement. He also changes aspect ratio to suggest the time period and mood of the story.
Wes Anderson themes. One of the main themes in Wes Anderson's films is nostalgia. Wes Anderson's films never follow chronological order. Many say that Wes Anderson is a man out of time, and his films perfectly encapsulate that. Another big theme in Wes Anderson's films are acting your age. In his films, adults act like children and children dress like adults.
Edgar Wright has directed 5 movies and written 3. He has at least co-written every film he has directed. He has a distinct style in his films. Edgar Wright has a lot of tricks he likes to use to make his films stand out, such as matching screen transitions, shot reverse switches, action synchronized to music, and pan transit.
Edgar Wright can make a boring transition into something memorable. He thinks outside the box and alters traditional filmmaking and editing. He incorporates his own personality in his own films.
Wright's main themes in his films are relationships. As an example, I will use Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy and The Baby Driver. In the Cornetto trilogy, which includes the film Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End, each film, while being very different and following different characters played by the same actors, one consistent thing remains: the friendship between Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. These two actors are used because they are good friends in real life. This helps make their chemistry on screen more natural, as they are basically playing alternate versions of themselves.
Baby Driver. Baby Driver's central plot revolves around a relationship when Baby meets Deborah. His whole life changes. He goes to far lengths to keep her safe. This is because the main theme is that love heals all wounds. It is also about Baby's relationship with music. Music is the story. Music in the story plays a big part, as it is what helps Baby get through his hardest difficulties. Music heals Baby in the same way Deborah does. Music and Deborah are both romantic partners in Baby's life.
Thank you for listening, and that's all for now. Goodbye.